Going through buds, becoming the SEAL, and then advancing to, at one point, running all training for SEALs, I wonder, is there a limit to endurance?
I would say, yeah, the body has limits. Obviously, you can go a lot farther than what you think you can, right? And that's how we build up that endurance by going into that place that's uncomfortable. We make our training, physically and emotionally demanding and competition based. By subjecting yourself to that, it's the same way with stress, right? It's a kind of stress inoculation. We get a little bit stronger each time. It's no different than if you go into the gym and you work your muscles, they get a little bit sore, they're breaking down, they rebuild stronger. And over time, we extend that ability to go far. But even then, there's the recognition that I get a little bit uncomfortable, or a little bit of stress helps me grow. There are times when I can endure a lot of stress.
When you design training, do you have a threshold of endurance in mind? At what point, or is there ever a dial back?
Not necessarily. It's not necessarily part of the design. All you want to do to make a training effective, not all you want to do, but a big piece of that is to recognize that there is a zone of discomfort more applicable to learning, right? Yeah, I was at the University of Pennsylvania years ago, and they said, well, you need to be 15% uncomfortable. Well, if you can measure it, good on you. You can't. But you can get into that zone where people are slightly uncomfortable. You go beyond that, the learning stops, right? And the stress just goes too high. But yeah, that place of slight discomfort is that place where at least we as adults tend to learn more, better, more efficiently, more effectively. Yeah.
And then tell me, Dave, you talked about the concept of designing for competition based, and you've got some very strong high achievers. You've got a competitive element, and yet ego should not have a role here. It's humility. It seems like those could be at odds, the competition and ego coming out, and yet the SEAL way is a humble way.
The egotistical SEAL is usually in his late 20s, early 30s. His body just won't quit at that point. Humility is not bowing down in front of people. It's an awareness of your own strengths and weaknesses, and you don't hide from either of those. I used to ask young SEALs who were interviewing to come to Dev Group, tell me about one of your weaknesses. And, they would look at me and go, some would say, I don't know. And others would say, well, I have none, whereas you look, I know all of mine. So that humility piece does emerge over time. At least we want it to. It's not necessarily something you can predict, and it doesn't emerge in everybody. Some people hang on to the ego their entire careers, which is unfortunate. But again, if I were going to pick a trait, humility, curiosity, compassion, those are things that I would pick in individuals.